Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Greenfar5824 from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit and says, my husband went on a last date with his ex a week before we got married to make sure. His ex was always the one who got away, according to everyone around him. He ended things because he didn't see a future with her, but everyone around him was shocked because she's so good and beautiful. Then we met and I soon understood that everyone from his side preferred her. I even heard some calling me the Camilla, although I'm neither much older nor less attractive, in my opinion. I love how I look, even if I don't tick all of the beauty boxes like tall, blonde, blue eyes, etc. like his ex. He never given me any reason to doubt him, however. He gave me the impression that he knew exactly what he wanted, was secure enough in his heart that he told me he loved me a few months into our relationship, and I never felt like he was lying or that I wasn't enough. He is fully aware of what people think about him leaving his ex, and he gave the impression that he thought they were silly and childish. He told his mum that I am who he's chose, and if she wanted a part of it, she needed to clean up her act. We got married 3 years ago, and only now I found out that he went on a date with his ex a few days before our wedding. He wanted to know for sure that she wasn't like everyone around him thought, the one who got away. He wanted to make 100% sure. His mum told me gleefully when she visited our new baby, and she looked at my daughter and said she wondered what would have happened if he changed his mind after the date, and she was visiting their baby now. My husband and the one who got away. With a sigh, but gleefully. You know what I mean. I haven't spoken to him for a week, and I hate silent treatment, but I just can't talk to him. It isn't something I am doing to punish him, or manipulate him, or get the upper hand and control him. I just can't look at him, or talk to him. Am I the arsehole for this silent treatment? Edits. He was there when it happened. He told his mum to shut up. Then he admitted he went on the date and admitted the reason his mum told me was the truth. If I was in OP's position in this, and this is very much from my point of view, I just don't know how you would move past that kind of thing. I understand that they're married and they have a child, etc., but to find out that your partner a week before your wedding went on a date with someone else, to see if they wanted to be with that person? How do you recover that trust back again? Although I think we're getting big hints that mother-in-law is a huge part of this. No excuses by the way, but it just feels like it is. Duchess of Deceit says, why did his mother know about this date? Lavender replies and says, I bet she orchestrated it somehow. Got into her son's ear about needing to be sure, or nudged the ex into suggesting a date. Dramatic Ant says this, mother-in-law wanted this girl as her daughter-in-law. Striped Honeybee says your husband is an arsehole, but your mother-in-law loathes you. To think she held on to this information until you were happy with a new baby. Totally vulnerable, and then decided to drop this. That is calculated evil. Opie says it sounded more like a spur of the moment at first, but maybe you're right. Not sure anymore. T2 Wright saying no. She sat on that for years. It didn't just pop into her head. She was waiting for the perfect moment. Opie says, that's evil. Three Heathens replies and says, yep, and it had exactly the effect she intended it to. Drove a nice big wedge in your relationship because now in your head it becomes, what else has your husband admitted telling you? Here's something to consider. Did this last checking to be sure he made the right choice date include sex or no? Ask it and any other questions you need answered. If you don't trust yourself to talk to him about it, make a document with your questions and ask him to provide you with the true answers. Because here's my thought. His mummy knew he was on that date and quite sure she talked to the ex afterwards. So if they had sex, mummy knows. If she's going to drop that little bomb in the future, your husband needs to own it now. He also should answer if he's been in contact with her since you're married. He owes you answers to any and all questions because his actions caused the situation. If needed, OP, please find a good therapist to work through this with. As to your mother-in-law, I think it would be reasonable that she is no longer welcome in your home. If your husband wants to see her, he can go to her place. Oh, and she gets a nice long time out from having anything to do with your daughter, with you determining the length. Because a woman that nasty can't be trusted to not say whatever she likes that hurts you by hurting your child. Sometime later, OP came in with an update and said, 1. My husband and I have talked. Well, he did most of the talking and I listened. I asked him for the honest truth. He said that he got cold feet. He was panicking about why nobody saw what he saw. He showed me texts from his family and friends up into our wedding of people asking him why he was doing this and if he really was sure. His sister said that he was making a huge mistake. After the wedding, however, everyone stopped and they basically told him they respected his decision, even if they couldn't understand it. I never felt like they liked me, but I have noticed that they were less intense and rude after the marriage. But starting now, less rude isn't enough for me anymore. 2. The date was dinner and wine. He understood it was wrong the second he sat at the table, but didn't want to just leave because it would have been weird and rude to ditch her when he was the one who made the dinner plans. 3. He didn't tell me because he knew I would call off the wedding and think it was bigger than it was. He didn't want to hurt me. He said that he loved me from the day we met and that never changed. 4. We're going no contact with his sister and mother and most of his friends and family. His decision, not mine. His father is the one member that genuinely loves me. I have no problem having him in my life. 5. We are far from okay. I told him I needed time because we can't make any decisions and right now we needed to concentrate on our baby. I don't want us to miss out on her first weeks. There's something new with her every day and I don't want us to miss that. I don't want this experience to be tainted with being heartbroken. I refuse to miss out on the joy my baby has brought into my life. I see therapy and counseling in the future, but not right now. I don't want that. Then either come out stronger or we separate. 6. I'm 3 years older than my husband and 8 older than his ex. The people in my DMs calling me ugly and jealous. I am neither. Not every girl dreams to be tall and blonde. Not every man likes tall and blonde. Only incels think that Stacy is goals and nothing else. 7. They broke up because my husband didn't develop feelings for her. When he realized it wasn't happening, he ended things because he was looking for love. So no, I wasn't the backup, even if many people in my previous post thought it was a good idea to call me a backup to add more insult to injury. What kind of satisfaction do you get from that? And then after that update, there was some comments with OP replying to them. So Cat Staffer says, wow, that is a horrible blow at a vulnerable time. Is he right in assuming that if he told you back then, you would have called off the wedding? Is it a valid question because it may help you sort out where you are now? Just remember, if the wedded relationship doesn't work for you for any reason, it is okay to be gracious co-parents. I'm sorry that happened to you and delighted that you have a baby to love and cherish. I wish you peace and joy going forward. Opie says, I would have absolutely have called off the wedding. Open Incident says, even if you forgive that he hid it from you, he clearly didn't hide it from his mum. He clearly discussed the date with her. She knew at wedding. She knew every time you saw her. He handed a weapon to your enemy and she used it when you were most vulnerable with your newborn. Opie says she suggested he would meet his ex. I don't know why she never told me before now. She doesn't like me at all. She had her chance to tell me before the wedding and we would have called it off. We'll never get it. Salty Chip says, it's so great that he made the decision to distance from the naysayers. That gives you breathing room to be new parents and orient towards your baby. Later, you'll each have to decide how much you want to say and hear about each other's faults, annoyances, and cold feet feelings. I never figured out how to do that very well, and I hope you're better at it than me. Good luck. And there was really a mix of comments below this one. Some people saying that it seems ridiculous to break up over this, that he chose her over all those people advising him not to. Other people saying that this is breakup worthy and they wouldn't stay in this for 1 minute. And I gotta say, I fall on that side in this one for me. That's how I would feel. I know that for sure. That trust is gone. Yes, he's choosing OP, but he also lied previously because, in quotes, he didn't want to hurt her. He took away her choice to actually get married to begin with when he's done this. When this news was always going to come out with mother-in-law about. And I wouldn't want that mother-in-law around your child either. She sounds like an absolute evil person. A little part of me did grin at the no contact with the sister and mother in this, just because it's not working out quite the way that mother-in-law wanted it to. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Our next story comes from Supply Christmas or Get the Fuck Out. That says, we, husband 32 male and me 26 female, have been told by his brother, 37 male, and sister-in-law 30s that we should supply all Christmas gifts for the kids due to our lack of kids. My husband has a very large family. In total, I think his father has 8 brothers and sisters. They all got married and had 2 to 6 children each. Now, their children are grown up and starting families as well. We are looking at easily, I believe, 15 children in the family as of right now. We all get together for Christmas every year at his grandparents' house. Sounds great, right? Right. Normally after Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving, which they also get together for, we pick names for the children's gift swap. There is also a men and women gift swap which my husband and I, who do not have children, join in on. Now, to give you an idea of how the gifting has been the last 10 years, husband and I would buy gifts for his parents, his brother and wife and their 4 kids. Great, awesome, works fine. Last year they said they would rather we just bought gifts for the kids, so we did. Same thing, we'd always gotten them books at their reading level, pajamas and puzzles of some kind. They were upset, but we couldn't place why. We also didn't get any gifts at all, which we didn't comment on, but my husband admitted he was a bit hurt to get nothing from his parents versus his brother and sister-in-law getting gifts. I am not a super social person, so I spent most of Thanksgiving reading a book and watching one of the youngest cousins sleep. Eventually, we all gathered up so the kids could draw names of their cousins for the gift swap. They finished that up, and then the husband's brother, who we'll just call Timmy, says, "An uncle husband will buy all the kids a gift too." Cue my husband and I giving him looks of, "The fuck?" and "fuck you." We laughed and said, "Oh no, we'll just be bringing the candy again this year." His brother then started in that we should buy all of the children gifts since we have none, and that it wasn't very Christian of us not to bless the children with our good fortune. My husband at this point pulled him aside into the kitchen and told him he wasn't buying all the cousins gifts, and if he wanted to, he was welcome to. They started to argue and Timmy yelled that we shouldn't come to Christmas anymore. I handed over the baby. We left, said we'd email them about it later when they'd calmed down enough to talk like adults. I just like someone else's viewpoint. My husband is really upset and his parents are agreeing with Timmy that we should be buying more gifts since we have no one to buy them for but kids now. He threw the fact that we get no gifts from anyone at them, and they said we're adults now and Christmas is for kids. He pointed out that they give Timmy and his wife things still, but they said we'd already bought it, might as well. But I have been shopping with his mother and she bought gifts for Timmy's wife, Candy, again this year already. I'm frustrated and feel like no one is handling any of this well. I want to step in and help my husband, but I want someone else to look at this mess before I do anything other than listen and offer suggestions of using "I feel this when you this" to his parents. Edit 1. I've read all the comments and replies to some. I'm out, but when I get home I will edit this or reply to comments more. Thanks for all the insight. Edit 2. Reply to some comments, showed husband thread, sent email. Haven't been answering phone calls from them. Ask them to please just read and reply via email so that we have time to think and respond calmly. Got a lot of nasty voicemails for it. Going to let them simmer some more and keep ignoring their calls since they keep yelling. Buy gifts for 15 kids because you don't have any. The absolute cheeky bastards. It makes me cringe the thought of even requesting something like that from someone else, asking them to supply gifts. Some of the comments were pretty funny on this one. Someone said get 15 kazoos or vuvuzelas, 15 packs of glitter, 1 kilo tubs. Go to town with them. Like 15 cans of fart gas or something. Yeah, something like that. Other suggestions down in the comments below, please. But OP came in with her update and says thanks for everyone who came and tossed in their 2 cents. It was wonderful to hear from other people without having to worry if they would repeat my chatter to the other party involved. So I'm not 100% sure where I should start. I'm about 3 drinks in just to calm myself. For one, I did show my husband the post after we talked. I brought up T-Day 2015 and asked him if he wanted some more input than I normally give him on his family drama. He said yes. I pointed out the favoritism of his brother over him in almost anything. I made a list of showing times when it happened where they and he were fully in the wrong, just to prove the point. He went over the text from his brother, sister-in-law, mother, father, aunt and cousin. And just to recap names: brother Timmy, sister-in-law Candy, mother Rhonda, father Keith, aunt Kira, cousin Ben, husband Todd. This is shorter than husband. I'm lazy. So, the day after I posted, after we went over the text, which started after we missed their call and went up until we sent the email, all just spiteful shit about how we waste our money, time and life, volunteering and don't spend enough time with their children, cousins, cousins' children, family anymore. It started out telling Todd he was being a candy-ass bitch who is whipped by his cold, harpy, child-hating wife, and just degraded from there. Todd only sent back a few saying he'd email him about it and asking him not to talk about me. So we sent the email here is basically what we sent. I semi-edited it. Todd sent it as if it was just from him. We almost added in his parents, but decided we'd just forward it to them if it really got out of hand. No problem. Timmy did it for him. Yes, well, that went over about as well as water on a grease fire. For one, Timmy forwarded the email to Rhonda and Keith, Kira and Ben. That was rude, but we were going to do the same thing either way. Ben sent us an email letting us know what Timmy did and said he was sorry he wasn't there to jump in, but would try to talk to Timmy. Timmy and Ben are really close, so it was nice to see he thought Timmy was being unreasonable as well, since they are normally very close and like-minded. I'm not going to put his email here, I'm just going to highlight what he said and then tell you what Keith and Rhonda said in their email/visit. I'm a cold, child-hating harpy and I sleep around. I'm an atheist or a Muslim or something. We never really picked. I'm dragging Todd from the church and his family. We don't spend any time at all with the family anymore. We never spend any time with our nibblings. We are wasting our life, time, money volunteering with animals. Helping/wanting to help refugees was un-American, and this is my fault since I'm first-generation American and don't understand what it means to be one/deserve to live here. I'm rude and never talk to them unless it's about animal rescue or animal rights. Yeah, so at this point we're kind of laughing and crying and kind of shocked. We spent the rest of the day cleaning up our house and talking about what we wanted to do and reply back. We hadn't checked our email and we'd stuck our phones on vibrate and we were just trying to enjoy our day off together. They're pretty rare sadly, so surprise, his parents drove all the way out to talk to us. I say talk, but it was more like being talked at. They asked me to leave so they could talk to Todd about his actions and rude email. Todd said no, said I was his family and his wife and we were handling this together. Then they tried to convince us we'd said fuck in front of the family. We didn't. That we had mentioned buying gifts for everyone before. That we didn't love Jesus anymore since we hadn't been going to church. And some of what Timmy has sent in the email too. When his father started to insult me and then in turn my father, Todd was done. He stood up and said, "Thank you for coming to visit us in our home for the first time, but we have errands to run and you need to leave now." They refused. He told them they had to go now or would call the police. They left. He cried. Our cats knocked over their cubs. Where did that come from? Well, that's knocked me sideways, that one. We ended up calling my dad and telling him everything as well as showing him both emails. He told us they have before talked shit about me/us to him. You should be able to fix your child. We're still working on ours. Was something he told us had been said. We decided we aren't going to their Christmas either way. I told Todd I can't go back there again, nor can I look at any of them the same again. I knew they'd always not liked me as much as some of the other daughter-in-laws, but I didn't know it was to that extent. They've always been nice and polite to my face, invited and included me in all events. No one has ever said anything to Todd either. As it stands, I'm waiting for my dad and brother to get into town and then we're going to sit down and decide what we would like to do. Todd said he just wants it to be small and doesn't mind where Christmas happens, and said he felt closer to my dad and brother anyway. We told Ben what happened and shipped his gift to him. I haven't decided yet what I will do with the nibblings gifts, but I already donated all the adult gifts. I'd also like to add that I'm not of another ethnicity. My father is German and moved to the US when he was 20 to marry my mother. So I'm a pasty white chick, but I guess my dad isn't American. That's bad. OP comes in with another update and says, I wish this update was we all made up and Christmas will be so great. But it's not. Yesterday we had a small Christmas party with some friends since we'll be leaving on the 24th for a holiday. Myself, Todd, Dad and brother, who I will name Theo. My friend Sandy grew up near me. We've been friends for years and she became friends with Timmy and his wife too. They are friends together on Facebook. We had told her that there was a tiff but didn't elaborate to not damage their friendship. Big mistake. And she tagged us in a "woo, look at my gift / QQ, my friend is leaving me for Christmas" post. The photo is of the two of us drinking while dancing around her new Roomba. I will note, this isn't just for her Christmas, it's for her Christmas, birthday and her wedding, as well as a housewarming gift. Her and her soon-to-be husband Bill just bought a new townhouse near us. I normally wouldn't buy something that expensive just for Christmas. So Timmy saw the post. Not only did he take offense to us drinking, none of them drink and are against drinking, he really flipped his lid about her getting a Roomba. He lost his crap in the comments and then showed up at our apartment. I was in the shower when Timmy showed up. I heard someone knocking on the door, which had to be pretty loud to hear it, all the way in the master bedroom shower. I finished the shower around midway through, Todd and him fighting. Tom said he was beating the door down. He opened the door and refused to be let in any further in the hallway. Tim was yelling at him about the gift, about his lack of church going, about us going out of town, demanding his kids' gifts. I donated them and asked him where we got off buying such a pricey gift for someone who isn't related and being selfish assholes about gifting the other children. So around this point I came out of the shower after putting on pajamas. It's nearly 1 AM now. I come out, see Timmy. I'm kinda shocked. Todd tells Tim it's late and we can talk about this when we get back from holiday with the pastor. He pushed Todd falls back into the wall, putting a dent in it. This woke my dad and Theo. I moved in front of Todd since Tim was pulling back to hit him. He hit me, knocking me down on top of Todd. Dad and Theo restrained him. Our next door neighbor was woken up and called 911. Cops showed up, separated all of us. We told them what had happened, didn't tell them about the other problems, shortened up to there has been a Christmas disagreement. He also called an ambulance since Todd cut his arm on a dish that broke and my face was quickly turning purple. The EMS who showed up know Todd and were very upset about him and I being hurt. The cops asked us if we wanted to press charges. I started to say no, Todd says yes, so Tim was arrested. We went to the ER since Todd needed some stitches. Our phones have been blowing up ever since. I turned mine off after I told Sandy she needed to not let Tim and Candy see any posts about us since they are pissed at us. She said okay. I went through and unfriended and grouped anyone who was also friends with any in-law family into a restricted group so they can't see anything we're up to again. I hope. Rhonda and Keith have been blowing up Todd's phone. He's only answered them in text with what happened, that we would not drop charges or pay his bail, and to stop contacting us at all. Between the last update and this one, we had talked to some of the other family members and they all said that they disagreed with Timmy. His grandparents said they did too, but that they couldn't host the Christmas and couldn't stop him from uninviting us. They said they would talk to him and we were like, okay, cool, maybe next year we can be friends again. That isn't the case anymore at all. There is no coming back from this. We'll be filing a restraining order when we get home. Todd is talking about moving us out of our home state. Dad and Theo think this is a good idea. Dad is annoyed that I wouldn't let him hit Tim, so he's sulking a bit. But I think that he's more upset that we lost another family basically. So yeah, I get to enjoy my trip with a black eye / cheek. Todd has a 4-inch gash on his arm. Dad is sulking and Theo is happy since he's smoking pot. So A+ Christmas. And as you probably guessed from the dates in this one, that this post was some time ago and I'm trying to reflect on it and wonder what happened next. You know that's not the end of that drama. That level of batshit crazy doesn't just stop there. Imagine getting so riled up from seeing a Facebook post that there was a Roomba of all things sent Timmy over the edge. A Roomba. As I was reading what was going on about how this Timmy burst through the door, I just had this visual image of the door flying open, Timmy seeing this Roomba and him just freaking toe punting it out the window, yelling Roomba, and then causing chaos around the apartment. Any of you fantastic artists out there, if you could make that come to life, of that toe punting the Roomba out the window of an angry man, please, at Mark Narrations on X. Only if you've got time, of course, and you fancy doing it. But wow, yeah, I'd agree with, you know, getting yourself out of that state, getting out of that area. If you can, I know it's extreme to do, but for your own peace of mind, for your own sanity, it doesn't seem that big when you put it that way. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so, so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love. Roomba.